What's up, y'all? We back at it with another episode of Kaiju number 8, episode 17, or episode 5 of season 2, whichever one you want to go by. And man, it's crazy how the series, the anime, can have you more emotional than the manga. Like, I was emotional reading these chapters because of Kikuru, but like seeing it in the manga, like, damn, man. So in case you want to know, these episodes take place from chapter 53 in the manga to chapter 55, man. Now, they did add a little bit into this episode as well that we didn't get in the manga, but it was pretty small. It was really brief. So the agents that were accompanying Kafka, that part wasn't in the manga. Them actually going with him to his house and him hanging up the picture saying that he joined the Defense Force or that he's a Defense Force officer, that part never happened in the manga. Outside of that, everything with him going to see the cleaners and everything else, that all took place within the manga. So that's the only new thing we got. Now, I'm not going to lie. The battle against number 9, it did feel fast-paced to me. But I imagine that's just because the battle itself was very, very fast. I would have liked it to be drawn out a little longer. I said the same thing even when I was reading the manga. Like, even when it comes to them showing your boy Kafka going back to see the people he used to work with, they could have added more to the fight and took a little away from that. I get it. That moment leads into something later on in the series. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but I would have liked if they would have had the battle go on a little bit longer between, Gin, Kafka, and number 9. But I'm not going to lie. That battle was ruthless, yo. Hey, look, the fact that number 9 was just like, yo, I should have did this from the very start when he decides to, blast Kikuru as well as, the operator that helps out the general. Man, that was such a cold moment. But you got it with Gin and your boy Kafka, like, yo, we're not letting you go nowhere. And they start doing the damn business against number 9 to the point where number 9 says, like, yo, my biggest hurdle is going to be you, number 8. Like, yo, old boy, he's strong. He's tough. And he does have that unblockable attack. But nah, my biggest problem right now is you, number 8. Ayo, and then he goes to shoot the blast at Kikuru. And what makes this episode so emotional, like last episode was too, because we saw the fall of the general, but what made this episode more emotional than what we got last week is the fact that we see Kikuru, who feels powerless. Now, in the manga, at the beginning of the chapter, I believe it's chapter 53, while this battle is going on, you have her saying that she feels helpless on this battlefield. We didn't get that in this episode. That's one part I wish they would have kept, unless they gave it to us at the end of last week's episode. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But we didn't get it in this episode. But just seeing her sitting there so helpless, and you got Kafka just thinking to himself like, yo, I'd never want to see a teammate of mine in pain. And here I am witnessing it right before my eyes. I must eliminate the person that was responsible for it. That's the guilt that Kafka is feeling right now. Not only that, he looks at the general as his hero, because the general was the only person within the defense force that wanted to keep him around, that seen him as an asset. Everyone else said, like, yo, he needs to be disposed of and turned to a weapon immediately. But the general, he's like, nah, we need to work with him. There's things we can gain from him. We can use his help to help society move forward. So, your boy Kafka looks at him as a hero. And then we get little flashbacks from Gin as well. Gin is looking at, how he's seen the general. He's seen the general as a father. There is a spinoff series. It's called Kaiju number 8 Plus. You should definitely go check it out. Is it Plus? I might be mixing up the name, but oh no, I think it's called B-side. Matter of fact, Kaiju number 8 B-side. Go check it out. It shows you like how Gin and the general first met one another. I might actually do a video on it. I had one on the original channel, but I might redo it for this channel. But you see how they came to be like a father and son, and how much your boy Gin looked up to the general. So that's why he's truly hurting. Like, yo, believe it or not, they wanted to kick him out of the defense force. They wanted Gin to be out, but because of the general, he was able to remain. And then eventually he does, earn his keep to the point where they see value in him being a part of the team. So you got them two guys going all out. And then number 9 manages to escape. And you just have this moment where Ging doesn't even say anything. He just puts his head down. You see the blood and tears on his face. And then you got it where Kafka, like, Kikuru's unconscious next to him, and he just screams out loud and just an angry fury because he wants his get back at number 9. And I just thought that was just a powerful moment. You have it where the whole city, the whole country is paying tribute to the man who lost his life in this last event, which was the director general. And it was such a sad moment. You have it where Kikuru, she couldn't even go to the funeral because she's like, yo, my father's still inside of that thing. Going to the funeral, it's like a minute he's gone. I'm not going to do that. But you got everyone else at the funeral, everybody from every division showing their respect to the director general. And it was such a, man, that was a touching moment right there. And then you have it where your boy Ging goes to talk to Kikuru, and he sees her crying. He's like, yo, you sure you don't want to say your goodbyes to your father? She's like, nah, I'll do it once I'm standing over the body of number 9. And then you have her asking, pretty much telling Ging she's the reason that creature got away, because she was too slow, she was too weak, and she wants Ging to make her stronger so that she can be able to take this thing down. And Ging says one of the coldest line ever. He said, yo, I'm going to make you strong, stronger than anybody besides myself. That's the only person you won't be stronger than, and you'll be able to take down number 9. I will drill my methods into you so you could be just as strong as any other officer. And it was just such an epic moment. Then you have it where they find out that Kafka, the more he transformed, the more likely he won't be able to come back out of his kaiju form. And what really made that amazing, like this moment, is because in the in the manga, when you read it, I kind of always got the impression that he was looking through his skin to see that part of his inside was turning into kaiju, not actually on the surface. And then when you see it in this episode, you see that it's actually the surface. And I feel like, this was more information that we were able to get from the anime that we couldn't really get from the manga. Or maybe it's just me who was assuming that he was looking inside his hand as opposed to looking at the top of his hand. But all in all, episode is amazing. You have it where, Ging comes to talk to Kafka, and he says like, yo, I can't allow you to fight on the defense force because you're turning more and more into a kaiju. There's no way I should allow that. He said, but now I'm going to ask you from a personal level, like, yo, will you help us? You was on this battlefield. You know what it's like. You know what we went through witnessing the general perish, because you were there. You were there. I was there. We had a front row seat, and what we seen is unlike anything that the other people know about. So will you help us? And if you do happen to turn into a kaiju, I'll finish you off myself, because I want to finish off number 9 so badly that I will do whatever it takes to take him down. Like, that was such a ruthless line for him to say to Kafka. And Kafka stands up and he says, I too want to take down number 9. And they decide to work together. You have the episode ending where you have Hoshina, which is the vice captain of the 3rd Division, going into the laboratory, and he sees the remains of number 10. And that's how the episode ends. So like I said, beautiful. It feels a little fast paced, but at the same time, we're getting some great stuff here. Honestly, I don't think this series may go past 3 seasons. I really don't think so. I could be wrong. It might go past 3 seasons, but I think the next season will probably be the final season. But let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. And hopefully you did like this video. Thumb it up, subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll catch you in the next one, man. Peace.